So I'm going to call the, hold on, August 18th, 2020 meeting of the East Long Meadow Planning Board to order. So I'm going to call the roll. So Peter Punderson.
Here.
Jonathan Torsha.
Here.
George Kingston. George, you're muted.
Here.
Russell Denver here. Mr. Richards has texted me. He's having some computer issues. He's working on it, and he anticipates to be here momentarily. I have to ask if there is anyone who is recording this meeting, and if so, would you please state your name? Hearing none. So we are being recorded through Zoom, and I presume through LCAT, which will then be made available for those people who wish to view it. So the first order is the approval of the July 21st, 2020 meeting minutes. People had an opportunity to review it, and do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So a motion made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes of July 21st, 2020. And because we are using this video, all votes need to be roll call. I'll start. Mr. Punderson.
Aye.
Mr. Torsha.
Aye.
Mr. Kingston.
Aye.
And myself, Russell Denver, is a yes. So John, do you have the agenda in front of you?
I do. Let me just pull it up here on my phone.
I'm wondering whether you would step into Tied Shoes until
Sure.
he is able to join us. So you call the first item, please.
Sure. Case SPRW, Maple Mart, request for site plan review for a convenience grocery store at 69 Maple Street, assessor's parcel ID 271433 in an existing structure on a .66 plus or minus acre.
So John, you faded out. John, we can't hear you. John Torsha, we can't hear you. So I'll go back. And he finished in a site located in the industrial zoning district. The applicant is Hari Kunal, 333 Surrey Road, Springfield, Mass. Is the petitioner available? Bethany?
Yep. Don or Jamie will have to bring him in as they're hosting the meeting.
We just need a name.
It's Hari, H-A-R-Y.
Canal, K-H-A-N-A-L. So Mr. Canal,
He's on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute.
There
Hello.
we go.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
good.
Thank you for participating in an unusual meeting that we're having here. So
Thank
tell
you.
us a little bit about the project that you have in mind. Is this the current Sunny Mart that has been closed?
No, this is not the current Sunny Mart. This is going to be a new grocery convenience store.
Okay,
Is nearby Sunny's Mart.
so what are the anticipated hours of operation?
Is 9 to 9.
9 to 9, okay.
And maybe on Sundays, I am thinking to start at 10 a.m. in the morning and close at 8 p.m. in the evening,
Okay,
Sundays.
and just a traditional convenience store, traditional items that would you find in a convenience store?
Yes, is going to be grocery, soft drinks, non-alcoholic beverages, toiletries, call cards, pre-packaged food, dairy product, candy and snacks, and lottery, of course, and tobacco.
Okay, good. Do any
And I have a question about getting a beer and wine license,
Okay,
if that
So
is permissible in that area.
obviously that would go through town council. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd just like to recognize Mr. Richards. So you are here.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, not a problem. Do members of the board have any questions for the petitioner?
Yeah, I do. This is currently a financial services office, so it's going to require some significant modifications. Are you, through the chair, is the petitioner planning on modifying the exterior of the building at all? Right now, there are steps going up to it. It's not accessible, and it looks like an office, not a store.
Mr. Canal?
I talked to the landlord and he said there is nothing really to do it, is ready to go. I don't know, I have to talk to him maybe again if that is the case, but I also know the Sunny Smart and they didn't have those things. They have the stairs to actually even not even, worse than the one that I am looking for now.
Okay.
And they didn't have easy access if people are coming with wheelchair or anything. And this one is easier than the one they have at the Sunny Smart.
So I see our planning director raising her hand. So Bethany, do you want to add to this?
Sure, I think this is actually what used to be the memory lamp store.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Is one-
yeah, I was a little confused with it. Okay, yep, okay.
When I called it up on the computer, I got the low white frame building.
Yeah, I think the GIS, the numbering is strange for that parcel, but when I talked to the landlord, he said it was the memory lamp store.
Oh, okay. Then I have no issues with that. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong building.
So it's going to be part of it's going to be right next to Dunkin' Donuts?
First is Dunkin' Donuts, and then they have the Chinese restaurant.
Right,
And
yeah,
third one is the store.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
Very good.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Mine's been
Hearing-
answered.
No, I'm good.
Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So a motion made and seconded to approve the site plan waiver for the Maple Mart. So we have to do a roll call. So Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Aye.
Mr. Richards,
Aye.
and I am a yes as well. So congratulations. How soon do you think you'll be able to open?
Now I was actually waiting to hear from the planning board to start of the registration of the LLC. So I will start the registration process. Yeah, I will start working from tomorrow itself, but I am not sure. Maybe within a month I will be able to start. I don't know.
Great. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really want to cooperate with the city councils, city board, and the people, local communities.
Thank
And
you.
they want you to.
Okay.
Thank you. Best of luck. Take
Okay,
care.
thank you. Okay.
Mr. Richards, the next item?
SPRW 2020-24 Home Office, request for site plan review waiver for a home office is Soul Vitality Healing, a business offering energy healing via telephone at 155 Elm Street, assesses parcel ID 25-108-4 on a .34 plus or minus acre site in a residential A zoning district. The applicant is Tiffany Chapperber, 155 Elm Street, East Long Meadow, Mass.
So we're looking for the petitioner.
Hello.
Hello. So you have no, oh, there you are. Okay.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your business, hours of operation, what you're going to be doing, just to kind of get a feel for what it's all about.
Perfect. So it's an energy healing business. It's all done remotely, so I won't. I don't foresee having clients actually into my home. So people can book online, and I speak to them over the telephone. They call in, and so yeah. I don't know. Any other questions?
Any board questions for the petitioner? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So motion's been made and seconded to approve the site plan waiver for the home office for Soul Vitality Healings. So by roll call, Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Aye.
Mr. Richards,
Aye.
and I am aye. So it's 5-0 and passes. Best of luck to you and welcome to town.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Take care. Mr. Richards, next item, please.
SPRW 2020-25, home office request for a site plan review waiver for a home office at Aero Junk Removal, a business offering junk removal services at 39 Laurie Avenue, Laurie Lane, excuse me, Assessor's Parcel ID 7-30-19 in an existing structure on .34 plus or minus acres in a residential B zoning district. The applicant is Gonzalo Chacon, 39 Laurie Lane, East Long Meadow, Mass.
So before we speak to the petitioner, so just in anticipation of this, I had Bethany speak to the petitioner today, ask a number of questions. So Bethany, can you kind of fill us in just to get us started on some of your conversation?
Sure. So he will not be using a commercial vehicle. He has his own pickup truck. I let him know that if he ever decides to have a commercial vehicle, he'll need to screen it from view. He has a garage on his property, so that won't be an issue. And what he'll be doing is picking up the junk and bringing it to the transfer station directly. He won't be storing it on his property at any time.
All right. So is the petitioner available? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight in these unusual circumstances.
Oh,
So we just had the planning director talk to us a little bit about your business. Do you want to fill us in a little bit more? You know, how people will access you and that type of thing?
yes, thank you. Bethany pretty much said it all. I spoke with her earlier. She was very nice. Yes, so basically from home via email for the most part, via a website. You know, that's how basically customers will contact me. Therefore, they will call my cell phone, and I will have a home office if hopefully everything works out. And no one will visit my house. No, none of those things. Again, it's just a home office, and I will be going to customers' house or and picking up, you know, the general junk and going directly to the transfer station.
Okay.
And drop it off there, and that's basically it. It's very it's very straight to the point. Yeah.
Okay. Questions from the board? Any board members? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So a motion made and seconded to approve the site plan waiver for this property. So by roll call, Mr. Punderson? Mr. Punderson? Mr. Torsia?
Aye.
Mr. Kingston?
Aye.
Mr. Richards?
Aye.
and I am a yes, so that is 4-0. Mr. Punderson, can you weigh in?
I said aye. Aye. Yeah. That's,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chacon, thank you, and good luck on your business.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
aye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Mr. Richards, next item,
Okay.
please.
SPRW 2020-26, home office. Request for site plan review waiver for a home office for a private investigation business at 304 Pease Road, Assessor's Parcel ID 32-38-1D, an existing structure on .48 plus or minus acres in a residential AA zoning district. The applicant is Edward Sullivan, 304 Pease Road, East Long Meadow, Mass.
Mr. Sullivan available?
I don't see a Sullivan in the attendees, but there are 2 call-in numbers that could possibly be him.
Yes, I know they were calling in. I'm not sure what number they are.
Should I just try both of them?
Sure.
There you go.
Hello? So you're on mute. So the phone number 204-1416 is on mute, and we can't hear you. So Bethany, would you feel comfortable if we went to the next item and maybe you worked with them?
Sure.
Okay. So does the board feel comfortable bypassing this one, going to the next until they can resolve that technical issue?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Richards, do you want to call the next item?
SPRW 2020-27, home office, request for site plan review waiver for home office for a House of Tickets online entertainment ticket reseller business at 12 Abbey Lane, Assessor's Parcel ID 31-50-5, in an existing structure on 1.05 plus or minus acres in a residential AA zoning district. The applicant is Bruce Cooper, 12 Abbey Lane, East Long Meadow, Mass.
Is Mr. Cooper available? Mr. Cooper, if you can hear me.
Yeah, yes, I can.
Okay, great. Oh, there you are. Great, thank you.
Oh,
So we'd like to know a little bit about the business, you know, what you have in mind. So if you can just fill us in, that would be great.
well, I'm a ticket reseller. We resell when there are events, concerts, sports, theater events all around the country and Canada. And everything is basically done online now. So most tickets, people download it in some electronic form.
Yep.
Most tickets, and just gonna operate the business only out of my house. I do have employees, but they work at their own homes, and we just join up on mostly internet messaging systems, and sometimes videos like this.
Do any members of the planning board have any questions for the petitioner?
Not really.
There's a lot of events I'd love to have tickets for right now.
Yeah, no, we're hoping things
Yeah.
will come back strong, hopefully next year.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yes. No.
All right, are any questions from the board?
I just would like to say that I want to make sure there's a note that there are no additional employees at the property.
Just my spouse who works back office stuff for me.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
No other questions? There a motion to approve this site plan waiver?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll
I don't know
second
who
that.
made the motion, me or George, but I'll second it then.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion and it's been seconded to approve the site plan waiver by roll call. Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Aye.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. So that passes 5-0. And I think I'll speak for everybody. We hope your business comes back real soon.
I hope so. It'll be great for all of us.
Yes, it
Boston
would.
Bruins.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Good
Yeah.
luck, Bruce.
Next item.
SPRW 2020-28 Munson Savings Bank, request for a site plan waiver for relocation of an existing ATM from the island to the exterior wall of the existing structure at 61 North Main Street, assessor parcel ID 26-147-0 on 1.6 plus or minus acre site in a commercial zoning district. The applicant is Munson Savings Bank, 61 North Main Street, East Long Meadow, Mass.
Do we have a representative for the applicant? I see a Alina Boutel. We can't see you. Nor does it appear we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello? Yep. We can't see you, but I think that's going to be okay.
Okay, let's see.
Join by video.
Usually it's the lower left-hand side of the screen.
Usually they'd rather not see
have,
us.
So it just asked me if I could, yep, is this? And I also have Dan Moriarty with me. Can you hear me at least?
I can hear you. Yeah. And Dan's name just popped up, but we haven't seen him yet.
I have screen shared. Host disabled attendees. So I say it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Just fix
That's
the
an-
permissions. You should be all set.
Okay. So so I had a specific question if I could start. So thanks, number one,
Sure.
for choosing East Long Meadow. I think it's wonderful.
We're so excited.
And my best to Steve Lowell. He's a good man. So the current ATM, is it part of the drive-through and that's the only place you can access it now?
So the current ATM that was there in the prior bank was on the island of the drive-through. So there was one drive-through tube unit or drawer unit, and there was one lane for an ATM. With our situation now where a lot of our transactions had been going through the drive-up only, and we had our branches closed through COVID, hoping that never happens again. We have been utilizing 2 lanes at drive up and then having the ATMs on the building. So the customers do have to wait for 1 lane ATM, but this allows that branch to have 2 lanes of drive up and 1 ATM on the building.
And so the other question I had was the hours of operation for the ATM. Can you tell me what they're going to be?
Oh, it's 24/7.
And so I'm still trying to visually try to put my head around this. So
Did you ever go to People's Bank? Russ,
Yeah.
did you ever go to People's Bank? That's what she's looking for. ATM.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now here.
Well, my concern is, we just turned down Pride for expanded hours beyond 10 o'clock. And I don't know then if we turn around and be inconsistent and allow 24-hour ATM service about 2 parcels down the road from there.
Do you have ATMs in East Long Meadow already? Because I believe all ATMs are 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
Well, I think that should be a question you should answer for us.
So all ATMs that I'm aware of are up and running 24 hours a day.
But, so does Key Bank have one?
I can Google that right now.
The People's Bank down the street does.
Yeah, but there's no neighborhood at all to speak of right there.
Yeah, let me, I've got Streetscape on right now. Yeah, and I'm moving down the street here.
if I may, Mr. Chair, make a comment
Yep.
here.
Yep.
You know, an ATM is a self-service machine. It's not like a gas station where you've got attendants and, a lot of traffic. It's more like Redbox or something else that just is there by itself.
Sure. Also the bank prior to us that was there, People's United, their ATM was also 24 hours. Hello?
So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Do other members of the planning board have any questions for the petitioner?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, John.
the Key Bank is a drive-up 24/7.
Okay.
So just to know.
George,
George? Yes, sir.
it's a change of location on an as-built plan. Do we need to modify that?
I
mean, really, you do.
We're not modifying the traffic pattern at all or the pavement. We're moving a machine
Okay.
from one place to another. I don't think that is significant enough to call for a new site plan. My personal opinion.
I think police and fire should be alerted of the change just in case there's a problem with the machine, security type of problem. I think they should at least be notified so they know where it is.
Yeah, makes sense. Are there other questions for the petitioner? Do you wish to add anything, Lena?
Just thank you very much for all of everybody's help, and we're very excited to be part of the community. It's been someplace that it's been a town that we've wanted to get to for quite some time now, and the timing is good for us, and we look forward to servicing your community and being part of it.
Okay. So hearing no other questions, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So we have a motion that's been seconded to approve the site plan waiver for the relocation of an existing ATM for Munson Savings Bank. So by roll call, Mr. Punderson,
With the note that police and fire are aware of this, aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Aye.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. So that passes. So best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Take
Okay,
care.
so thank you. I think I'd like to go back to SPRW 2020. I believe it was Mr. Sullivan who was calling in for home office for a private investigation. So is the applicant available?
So I've clicked allow to talk, but he's muted, and when I click unmute, nothing happens.
He also just emailed me and said that they had unmuted it on their side, so give him a minute or so.
It's showing mute to me.
Yeah, showing mute on our screens. So last week I had to appear with the town council and my computer didn't work really well. So I ended up typing in the chat to have my discussion with them. So Mr. Sullivan, if you can hear me, under the chat button, can you just at least tell us whether you're going to have any employees at that location, whether you're going to have any commercial vehicles at that location, and whether you're going to have any customers come to that location?
So if he calls in, he doesn't have the access to chat because he's on his phone.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Maybe Bethany can fill us in on some of this.
Yeah, Bethany.
As far as I know, he is the only employee for the business. It's a private investigation business, and I believe the home office is primarily for computer billing, etc.
So maybe we can vote contingent upon it being a sole person there with no cars, no nothing, you know, like the same conditions we would expect anyone else to have for home office.
And it sounds pretty straightforward. It's a home office with no employees. I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
No, but George, excuse me for 1 second. Contingent upon, you know, basically what I just said.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, do we, so we have a motion made and second to approve the site plan waiver for home office for a private investigation business at 304 Pease Road. So by roll call, Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Good luck, Mr. Sullivan. So let's go back to item number 7, Mr. Clerk.
SPRW 2020-29, home office, request for site plan review waiver for home office for Team Ordinary LLC, an online fitness coaching business at 273 Westwood Avenue, Assessor's Parcel ID 5-48-4, on a .52 plus or minus acre site in residential B zoning district. The applicant is Scott Rickey at 273 Westwood Ave, East Long Meadow, Mass.
Is the petitioner available? Hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well?
Nice to have someone without any visual and audio difficulties on the call.
Yeah, I'm kind of old school at this. I know, I've been doing this for a while, so.
Okay, good. So tell us about your business.
My last name, it's a tough spelling. You guys did a good job.
Good. Tell us about your business.
I'm an endurance sports coach. I do it from home. I coach people kind of all across the country. I don't have people into my house. I coach endurance athletes, runners, triathletes, basically evaluating their athletic fitness, and then getting together with them, setting goals, and then setting training plans to achieve those goals.
Any questions for the petitioner?
Nope.
Besides, the entire board needs some work with you, but.
Come on in. Consultations are free.
I go to the gym every day.
I do too.
I just couldn't pass that one up. It was too easy. So, all right, do I have a motion to?
Down in your future, Russ.
I've done 7 already. So,
Right.
yeah, I think Mr. Richards is right there with me. I know.
What's that? I've done 7. What's that, Russ?
Marathons?
I've done 3 marathons.
Okay.
Nice, guys. Impressive.
My best time is 3:15.
Wow, look at that. Look at that.
Good for you.
Good stuff.
All right, so a motion made and seconded to approve the site plan waiver for home office for Team Ordinary LLC. So by roll call, or wait, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
I would second that.
Okay, by roll call, Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Aye.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
And I am a yes. Best of luck to you.
Great. Thanks,
Congratulations.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Item 8.
SPRW 2020-30, home office request for site plan review waiver for a home office for a photography business at 28 High Street. Assessors parcel ID 28-42A-B on .42 plus or minus acre site in a residential C zoning district. Applicant is John Driscoll, 28 High Street, East Long Meadow, Mass.
So obviously, we'd like to have the petitioner here, but before we get started, I'd like kind of Bethany to fill us in on the current status of this proposal. Bethany?
Sure. So John had applied, I think 2 meetings ago for a site plan waiver, and he was denied because it was found in the zoning bylaw that a professional photography studio is not permitted in a residential zone. So he's reapplied as a home office, but Kevin Duquette and I came across a contradicting point in the bylaws where there's no clear definition what a studio consists of. So even though he may be conducting a home office studio, there's just a gray area because of the photography business. So we have referred this issue to town council. And he is expected to have a response for the board by the next meeting, so September 8th. And I've let John know of this as well, so he's expecting to be continued to September 8th.
So John, if you wish to add anything to that, you can.
I'm here,
Okay.
and I guess that sounds fair enough. I know I communicated with Bethany today, and she kept me informed as to what was going on. And I guess that's probably the best course of action at the moment. I'm not sure. Again, it's a studio. I know office and studio are a bit interchangeable. And again, this is just an office. I know we spoke the last time about doing photos here at this property, which since then I've changed where we wouldn't do photos here. It would just simply be an office to meet couples that were planning on weddings or possible clients, but we wouldn't be doing photographs here. So I guess basically it would be just an office.
So let's, so because we've referred it to the town attorney for just a legal opinion on this, I think the best course of action would just be to vote to continue this item to the September 8th so that it's just fully resolved and it's where we need to have it to take a vote on it.
That sounds fair enough. Like I said, I certainly, communicating with Bethany, she was very good and kept me up to date during the day. So that
Good.
Works for me.
All right. So do I have a motion to continue this item to September 8th?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
So by roll call, to continue this item to the September 8th meeting. And I think you'll be happy to know, John, I think there's only 2 other items on the agenda so far for that meeting.
All right, that's very
So,
clear.
Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
Mr. Torsia,
Hi.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
and I am a yes on that as well. Thank you, John.
Okay, yes, thank you again.
Take care. Bye-bye. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, case SD-D 2020-1, definitive subdivision plan for Josie Lane subdivision. Request by applicant for the definite subdivision approval of 2-slot subdivision installed of a 150-foot road in cul-de-sac on 2.36 plus or minus acres located at Pease Road, Assessor's Parcel ID 32-34A-B in a residential AA zoning district. The applicant is Emmanuel Marnino, 66 Lathrop Street, West Springfield, Mass. And this was postponed due to severe power outage 8/4/2020. And in addition to that, I do have fire marshal comments that I can either read now or later.
Please do it now.
Okay. Hi all, hope is well. Let's see, make sure you had a chance to review the proposed Josie Lane subdivision off Peave Road, as the applicant has requested a waiver for 6.2.5 street width in order to serve the 2 residential lots. The request includes a waiver from 60-foot width to a 50-foot width, and paving required 30-foot to 24. The applicant also requested a waiver from 6.2.6 turnarounds in order to serve the 2 residential lots. The request includes a waiver from the roadway diameter requirement 90 feet to 84 feet, and property line diameter requirement 120 feet to 102 feet. And the comments, I thought I had the comments here. Oh. The fire marshal is okay with the request of the applicant. In the past, we have agreed to 24 paved widths and 24-foot turnarounds. Excuse me, sorry about that.
Bethany, were there some final things from Tom Christensen?
He told me today that all their comments have been addressed. Their only request is for a pre-construction meeting prior to the commencement of construction.
So is the petitioner available? Hello.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Timothy Kuhn. I'm a professional engineer with J.R. Russo and Associates here tonight representing Manny, who's sitting across the table from me. We are looking for definitive subdivision approval for Josie Lane. As was mentioned already, the subject property is 2.36 acres on the north side of Pease Road. I do have the plans, which I can share if you would like. And
let me ask the board, do you want the plans shared? Or have you had an opportunity to review them?
I've had an opportunity to review them, and so I think, I don't know if everyone else is aware of what they look like.
I think we're all set. So a narrative would be good.
all right, well then I'll proceed. That
Okay.
the current lot is vacant. It is a combination of woodland and some cleared area. The clearing appears to be associated with some existing utility easements because there is a water main and a sanitary sewer line which cuts across the property. The site slopes from east to west toward a wetland along the western property line. There's also a small wetland finger that comes into the property from the north. What's being proposed is a small 150-foot long cul-de-sac so that we can get 2 building lots on the property. These will be served by public water and sewer. The runoff will be collected in a depression in the cul-de-sac. And from there, it will overflow. That will provide some infiltration, then it will overflow and be piped to a detention basin north of the cul-de-sac. The detention basin was designed with a multi-stage outlet structure to ensure that there's no increase in peak discharge on downstream properties as a result of the subdivision. It will discharge to a riprap apron just outside the wetland finger on the site. And it will also be equipped with an emergency spillway. I will point out that you likely have 2 alternate plans in the package that was submitted. And the only difference in the plans is the location of the outlet from the detention basin. One is located at the wetland finger. Another one is located further down to the west. This was more for the Conservation Commission's benefit than yours, because we wanted to let them make the decision where they would prefer to have that outlet. And they did make a decision last week. We got Conservation Commission approval and they approved alternate 1, which is the one with the basin outlet just outside of that wetland finger. So that is the one we're presenting tonight. That's the one we're looking to get approved. We are proposing the required street trees. The plan includes your standard erosion controls for construction, the silt fence, construction entrance, topsoil stockpiles. We understand that the drainage, the center of the cul-de-sac and the drainage basin will be, the maintenance of those items will be the responsibility of the owner. The lots do provide the required frontage and buildable area. As mentioned, we are requesting some waivers of sections 6.25 and 6.26 in order to reduce the paved area and the right-of-way area. And we believe that these waivers are feasible, and they will reduce the impervious coverage, reduce any drainage impacts, and still provide adequate access for emergency vehicles. Also, this is only a 2-lot subdivision, and based on the existing development of the surrounding properties, it's highly unlikely that this could be extended in the future.
So let me ask.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, you go.
Just wanted to also mention we're requesting a waiver from the sidewalks as well. And again, this is a simple short cul-de-sac serving the 2 building lots, and there's no sidewalks on Pease Road that this would connect to. So we feel that the sidewalks around the cul-de-sac would serve little purpose. And then I want to conclude by saying that Manny, the applicant, purchased this property in the hope to be able to get 2 building lots so that his family and his sister's family can build these homes next to each other. You know, he's not subdividing with the intent to make a profit. You know, his desire is simply to be able to live next door to his sister's family, and he hopes that you'll approve the subdivision so that he may do so. Be happy to answer questions.
Yep, I'm going to ask the board if they have any questions for the petitioner or their representative.
I have a question.
Yep.
So, the police and fire, or particularly the fire department, in the past has set a precedent that 24 feet is sufficient. They can get their fire equipment around in case something does happen.
And that's what we're proposing.
I'm
We're
asking
sticking
the
with the
question of the
24.
petitioner.
Yes, they have
And
authorized that.
they-
in the past.
They've approved it in the past then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I've been on the board now maybe 3 years, it seems like, and I've seen a number of those approvals from the fire department.
I just don't want to set a precedent by
Yeah.
doing it right now, but if it's been done in the past, then I think that's great.
George and Ty, do you agree with my memory?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do, yes.
Okay, John. Yeah. Okay.
And especially on a short cul-de-sac like this one, it's not really an issue.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a bigger cul-de-sac, it's a different issue.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
I just want to go on the record and say that I'm not going to have any problem with a variance for the sidewalk, but typically I would really like to see sidewalks, but obviously here it would not be practical.
Okay.
I would echo that comment as well.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the definitive subdivision approval for the 2-lot subdivision?
Should we vote on
with the
waivers?
waivers? With the waivers.
With the waivers, okay.
With the waivers.
One vote, okay.
Yep. So let's just repeat the waivers. So Mr. Kuhn, would you just repeat the waivers you're requesting?
Sure. We are requesting waivers from section 6.2.5 from the right-of-way width. We're requesting 50 feet where 60 is typically required, and we're requesting pavement width of 24 feet where 30 feet is required. In addition, section 6.2.6 on cul-de-sac, which requires 120-foot diameter right-of-way, and we're requesting a 102. And the pavement diameter requirement is 90 feet, diameter, and we're requesting 84 feet. And in addition to that, there's the request for the waiver from the sidewalks.
And so, as I was so artfully reminded by Bethany, so this is a public hearing. So I wish to open this up. If there's anybody who wishes to be heard during this public hearing regarding this matter, would you please raise your Zoom hand so you can be brought into the meeting so we can have your comments and questions. So I see a Brad, and I probably believe it's Carlene, but
Yes, hi there. How are you?
good. How are you? We can hear you. We can't see you.
Okay.
So because we can't see you, would you at least, oh, okay, Brad and Carlene Hoffman. Yes.
Hi there.
How are you? Good. So go ahead. You have questions, concerns?
We just wanted to make sure that it is going to stay as a 2-lot development as opposed to more being added later on.
Mr. Kuhn, do you want to address that?
There's we're maximizing the lot area of the land with the 2 lots. They are the minimum size, and there's no room to subdivide them any further.
Are there any physical limitations to further expansion there? So is there wetlands? Is there?
Yeah, there are wetlands to the west as well as the north of our property. There's open space to the north of our property, and all the areas around us are essentially developed now. So we don't expect there's any room for expansion.
Okay, we just wanted to make sure, we live at the end of the cul-de-sac next to Von Wildfang, and we kind of like the quietness of our neighborhood and wanted to make sure it's, at the most part, kept that way.
Manny, you'll enjoy it once you move in.
Yes.
Thank you. We're hoping for enjoyment.
Thanks.
Do you have anything else you'd like to address? Okay.
No, thank you, but we do appreciate that you allow for us to participate.
Sure. It's certainly an unusual time we're going through here.
Yeah.
So
Good
yeah.
to see you, Russ.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, Colleen.
Any other participants wish to be heard on this matter? I see a phone. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Yes?
This is Jim and Anne Marie. We're on a butter too. We're at 20 Devonshire Terrace.
Okay.
And I have an issue with public safety. Like, I leave every day and I specifically go to Prospect to Pease because I'm afraid to even go to the Chestnut Road and Prospect Street intersection. And now you're saying you're going to put a subdivision in there. We have had so many accidents between Prospect and Pease Road. We have, I would say, an accident at least once a week up there. And I just think you're creating a similar situation on Chestnut Street that you're going to create on Pease. Because there is an incline here right where they want to put that subdivision in. And I think it's going to be a lot of headaches for people. And I really am opposed to it from a public safety point of view, because I really think it's going to be more car accidents, more trouble, and it's just awful. If you ever go down to the end of Pease Road now and try to exit that neighborhood, you either go left or right onto Shaker Road. The increase in traffic has been astronomical. And once again, I just think as you're coming up Pease Road to Prospect Street, right before you're hitting that rise is where they want to come out of. And it would be like saying you're going to put a subdivision at the historic Red House coming up Chestnut Street. Like, how many accidents do you want to incur? That's my problem with this whole thing. I think it's an issue of public safety.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kuhn, do you want to address the number of, I guess, traffic or number of, trying to think of the phrase I want to use here. The number of trips that would be generated. Yeah,
yes, yes. This is, we're talking 2 single-family homes here. It's not a high traffic generator. I believe I'll be honest with you, I don't know the number off the top of my head for what the average daily trip is, but during peak hour, you could expect maybe 2 additional average daily trips on the coming in and out of the subdivision per household, perhaps. It's still an insignificant number compared to the number of trips on that street, I would imagine. We have not done a traffic study. It just doesn't seem that it's necessary for such a small development.
Does the
I would
caller
like
wish?
to request that we
Yeah,
do
go
a
ahead.
traffic. I would like to request that we do a traffic impact and access study, and also that development impact statement, because I do think it's going to have a very definite impact on that road. It's bad enough already. And like I said, we live on the other intersection, and we hear the police cars and ambulances at least once a week going to major accidents, and never mind the Chestnut Prospect Street intersection. You know, that's bad enough, so I try to exit the other way. I just think that you're creating another heavily trafficked intersection, and they're very dangerous. And now you want to put a cul-de-sac up that hill to exit. I mean, at least there'll be 2 cars per household. So that's 4 more cars, maybe even more if they have children. That's 8 more cars. It's just a lot of more traffic. And I just worry about somebody getting T-boned, or a poor person pulling out of that cul-de-sac and somebody coming over that hill. It's very dangerous. You're also on a curve, and Pease Road is so narrow as it is. It's just, and I think people should have to put sidewalks in. I think that's my one problem with East Long Meadow. It's like we have a beautiful walking trail, but you got to take a car to get to it. So I really think you should request sidewalks also. So, all right, so I've said my piece, but I would like to request a study.
All right, thank you. Are there other anyone else like to be heard on this item? Okay, so hearing none. Oh, hello? Hello? Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So a motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. So by roll call, Mr. Torsia,
Aye.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards.
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
and I am a yes to close the public hearing. So I bring it back to the board. And what is the board's pleasure?
I'd like to just comment that this was reviewed by the police department, and the public safety officer has approved the sightlines, as I understand it. So, you know, it's not like we haven't looked at the safety aspects of it. I think we have. Just as a comment to the chair.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion? I know we did one earlier, but let's repeat it. So George, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I believe that you put a motion forward to approve with the waivers.
That's correct.
Okay, do you still wish to do that?
I do.
John, you have a question?
I just was wondering, just as a point of clarification, we don't have to vote on each waiver individually?
If you wish to do so, we can do so. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Fine,
So
I'll
then,
make a motion to approve the waiver for the right-of-way width.
okay. So do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So on the first waiver, it is a waiver of the widths. So by roll call, Mr. Torsia,
Yes.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
and I am a yes. So Bethany, you might need to help me. The second waiver would be, well, I know the sidewalks. So
The second one is the paved width.
Okay, the paved width then.
I'll make a motion to approve the waiver of the paved width as stated in the application.
And is there a second to that?
I'll second that one.
So, okay, so on the paved width waiver, by roll call, Mr. Torsia,
Yes.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Aye.
and I am a yes as well. I
Okay, number-
believe the third one is the waiver of the sidewalk
No,
requirement.
the third one is the diameter of the cul-de-sac.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve that waiver.
I
Do
will
I have a
second
second? Okay, motion made and seconded. Mr. Torsia,
that. Yes.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Yes.
and I am a yes. It gets a little unwieldy with these video roll calls. Do you have another waiver, Mr. Kingston?
Yeah, number 4 is to waive the sidewalk requirement.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
So a motion been made and seconded to waive the sidewalk requirements. By roll call, Mr. Torsia,
Nay.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Nay.
and I am a yes. So that item passes. Mr. Kingston, while you're on a roll,
Make a motion to approve the definitive subdivision plan.
okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that as well.
Okay, a motion made, and second to approve the definitive subdivision plan. By roll call, Mr. Torsia,
Yes.
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Punderson,
Yes.
and I am a yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to go into the director's report. Bethany?
So first item is the town council voted on August 11th to adopt the solar bylaw moratorium. So that will extend the moratorium until September 2021. The second is we had our first housing chapter working group last Thursday. John is part of that group now, which is great. The result of the first meeting was we established a community survey, which is now available online on the town Facebook page, as well as the town web page under the newsflash section. We also have physical copies by the library, curbside pickup hours. And I believe it will also be printed in the September newsletter. Next item is just an update. DPW and I submitted an application for Shared Streets and Spaces grant program funded by Mass DOT. That was at the beginning of the month, so we're hoping to hear back from them shortly on if we were awarded that monies. And lastly, we should be hearing back any day about the MVP Action Grant that I applied for the purposes of a new master plan.
And I think I'd just like to add one more item. So several Mondays ago, I sat through a Zoom status conference with the land court judge with respect to the matter of PLH Inc. versus the town of East Long Meadow. There were two items that were addressed. One was the original litigation against the town, where they felt that the zoning was too restrictive. And then the second item was our vote to deny a site plan to them. And that was a 2-2 vote with Mr. Punderson not participating. And just to let people know, Mr. Punderson had not been a member of the planning board during numerous instances in which PLH had been in front of the planning board on a number of issues, so it made sense that he would participate. I think the long and the short of it was, and we've not gotten instruction yet, at least I haven't seen instruction from the land court judge, but it would appear that they're at a public meeting and not a public hearing, that there would be a requirement for the two dissenters, who would be Mr. Richards and myself, to plainly state the reasons why we voted no for the granting of the site plan. We were required to submit certain items to the town, to the attorney representing the town, and they were supposed to have an additional status conference with the land court judge. So there's a very real possibility that this item will reappear on our agenda in the very near future. And I just thought I'd kind of fill the rest of the board in on that matter. So Ty, do you want to add anything?
No, you did a good job.
Thank you. Okay. So Bethany, our agenda for September 8th looks like what as of now?
As of now, just 3 site plan waivers, possibly less. Sometimes they trickle in by the end of the week, so maybe a little bit more site plan waivers, but no public hearings.
And I guess I dare to ask, the multi-use zone scheduled for a vote yet by the town council?
Not that I know of. I emailed the town clerk this morning asking if she had an update, and she's waiting to hear back from one of the town councilmen.
Any other planning board members have any issues you want to address?
Yeah, quick question. I'm looking at the calendar here. So our next meeting is September 8th, and then following that meeting will be the 22nd?
Yes, it's off because of the election dates as well as the holiday.
Yep. Microsoft Outlook is saying, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Now it does. Thank you.
Yeah.
All set now.
Any other concerns from the planning board members? Any issues? I will say that I try to talk to Bethany a couple of times a week, and she's very gracious with her time. So during the whole COVID pandemic and our gym being closed, Pete, as you know, I've been doing a lot of walking throughout the town. I have about 8 different routes that I take. So I've asked Bethany to investigate a number of things that I see that we might want to undertake as potential changes, where we tighten up some of the things that are currently in the zoning bylaws. The one that I asked her specifically to look how other towns are doing it is the number of unregistered vehicles that are allowed on people's property. I believe the zoning requirement right now says you can have 1 unregistered vehicle, and then any other unregistered vehicles need to be screened from the street. So I'd love to know what some of our surrounding communities are doing. Depending on which route I take that day, it's a little frightening, some of the zoning violations that we see. Others are much cleaner neighborhoods with respect to no zoning violations. So don't be surprised if I present a number of potential changes for your consideration down the road. And if anybody else has any that you would like to be addressed, maybe we could do it as a package. But I'm willing to at least begin the conversation and put this out for our consideration. So, all right. Okay, hearing no other business. So I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn by roll call. Mr. Torsia?
Aye.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Mr. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Punderson?
Aye.
And I am a yes, and I'd like to thank Bethany, doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
All right, take care. Bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.